What's up, Moose here. Since I'm doing my favorite musical movies of the decade, it is time for the 80s turn. So here is my official top 10 musical movies of the 80s. Alright, number 10 is going to be unpopular to some, and it's not as good as the original, obviously, but I always get a kick out of this. Number 10 is Grease 2. Of course, starring Michelle Pfeiffer, obviously, who, funny enough, her and John Travolta would go on to both, of course, John Travolta was in the original Grease. Ironic, they both will go on to star in Hairspray together, which I remember seeing that the first time. I really found that to be hilarious there. But Grease 2, of course, was released in 1982, where British transfer student Michael Carrington, played by Maxwell Caulfield, tries to win over the cool and confident Pink Lady Stephanie Zion, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, by reinventing himself as a mysterious motorcycle riding cool rider here. And obviously, you don't really have the likes of John Travolta coming in or anything. But hey, you do got Lorana Luffett was in this, Chris McDonough, like a decade before, he was Shooter McGavin. And the music is actually very interesting. I mean, not as iconic as the songs from the original Grease, obviously, but you do got Cool Rider, you do got Back to School Again. You got some really decent music. Again, maybe not as memorable as any of the songs from the original Grease, obviously. Uh, definitely not anywhere near as memorable as, let's say, Grease Lightning or anything, but it definitely has some decent music, say at least. Alright, number 9 is Yenta. Now, I admit, I cannot really think of Yenta without thinking of Deadpool 2. Papa, can you hear me? Remember the saying, Papa, can you hear me? Does that sound awful lot like Can You Build a Snowman for Frozen? I every time I think of Yanta, I can never just think of Yanta without thinking of Deadpool 2. That little moment in Deadpool 2. Um, but it is a still really decent film here. It takes place in early 20th century Poland, where Yanta disguises herself as a man to study Jewish religion, Texas, which women are forbidden to learn here. And it is obviously led by Barbara Streisand. And you got some really great music, like the aforementioned Papa Can You Hear Me, which, like Deadpool puts it, sounds awful lot like Can You Build a Snowman from Frozen. Whereas it's written, no matter what happens. I mean, you got a music legend like Barbara Streisand, so obviously she's gonna bust out some great tunes here. It is a really decent one. Great performances by Barbara Streisand. Who I think he scored an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but Yatsu is a really good one if you guys haven't seen that. All right, number 8 is the Blue Brothers. Now, the Blue Brothers, of course, obviously based on the SNL skit with John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, where Jake and Elwood Blues embark on a mission from God to reunite their old band and raise money for an orphanage that they where they grew up in. And you do got like Carrie Fisher, who plays the mysterious woman in this. You got music icons like Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, James Brown popping up in this. Really great music here. Obviously, Dink, Shake a Tail Feather, Minnie Moocher. I mean, some really iconic music, to say the least. The Blue Brothers was just so iconic on SNL. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd play off each other very well there. Obviously directed by John Landis, who gave us Animal House. I mean, the Blue Brothers is just one of the funniest, comedies of the '80s, and it's well worth watch there. And they also did the Blue Brothers 2000, which we don't talk about. All right, number 7 is Follow That Bird. That's right, I'm including a Sesame Street movie as a musical. Like, there are some really catchy music in this. Obviously there's this song Easy Going Day. There's Blue Skies. Obviously the iconic song in this Ain't No Road Too Long. That of course he performs with Waylon Jennings, which I always get a kick out of. I mean, Follow That Bird is. I just love Follow That Bird. It's definitely one of my favorite Sesame Street movies there is. You know, Honestly, Big Bird is just so iconic and all. And yeah, who doesn't love the Follow That Bird movie? All right. Coming in at number 6 is All Dogs Go to Heaven. Now, this is of course the animated musical movie from director Don Bluth. featuring the voices of Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, the late young actress Judah Bossy. Man, that's it. This sadly this was Judah Bossy's last movie she did. Sadly, she passed away at a very young age, at the age of 10. I'm not really going to go into details, but if you guys just look up what happened to Judah Bossy, it's just really tragic. But the end scene moment with Charlie and Anne Marie towards the end, especially if you know what happened to knowing that this was Judy Bossy's last film, that scene would definitely put you to tears. But All Dogs Go to Heaven is still a really great musical. Lots of really great music like You Can't Keep a Good Dog Down, Let Me Surprise, Let Me Be Surprised, I Love You Too. And obviously, one of the songs here was a tribute to Jude Bossy. I mean, it's just such a really remarkable film, to say the least. I mean, if you guys never seen All Dogs Go to Heaven, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's such a really remarkable one. All right, number 5 is Annie. Now, of course, this is the original Annie, starring Elaine Quinn as the role of Annie, Carol Burnett as Miss Hannigan, Tim Curry, Bernadette Peters, Albert Finney. I mean, the remake of in 2014 with Jamie Foxx, that was actually decent, but nothing beats the original. Of course, this is based on the Little Orphan Annie comics, where spunky orphan Annie is chosen to spend Christmas with a billionaire Oliver Warbucks, played by Albert Finney. And obviously, you got some iconic songs in this, like "Tomorrow," "It's a Hard Knock Life," "I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here," which I can never think of that song. The song "I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here," I could never think of that song without thinking about one of the early episodes of Family Guy. But yeah, the original Annie is just one of the best. All right, coming in at number 4 is Purple Rain. Which, by the way, last night on Dance with Stars, they had a really nice, Prince, like a Prince theme, and two of the dancers, two of the celebs actually, bucked out the song to Purple Rain. Really really cool moment there. Obviously, Purple Rain is a semi autobiographical drama about the kid who's a talented but troubled musician navigating love, rivalry. Obviously, you've got famed music icon Prince as the role of the kid. Apollyon Catero, of course, is also in this. You do got the likes of Morris Day, Clarence Williams III. Great iconic songs like Purple Rain, When Doves Cry. I mean, Prince obviously was iconic in this. One of the most iconic music artists of all time, and he did a good job in this. And yeah, Purple Rain is just one of the most iconic musical movies of the '80s. There. All right, coming in at number 3 is The Little Mermaid. Now, there wasn't as much as like animated Disney musical movies of the '80s, but it was really The Little Mermaid. I guess you could say brought back the Disney Renaissance and all. And obviously, some of the most iconic songs in this one from Parts of Your World, Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl. I mean, it's just one of the most iconic Disney movies of the '80s. It is terrific. Yeah, obviously Jodie Benson, Samuel E. Wright as Sebastian the Crab. Like, who doesn't love the original Little Mermaid? And the remake is not so bad either. All right, coming in at number 2 is 1980's Fame. Now, of course, Fame, follows like a group of students at New York City High School for the performing arts as they struggle through like auditions, personal issues, and all. And of course, you do got Debbie Allen, which, by the way, congrats to Debbie Allen because she got an honorary Oscar the other night, so well deserved there. And of course, you got Irene Cara, who plays the lead role here. Great, really fun music from the likes of Fame, uh, Never Alone. I mean, obviously, Fame is just really iconic there. Great music throughout. Great cast of characters. I mean, although sad to say, if Fame was released today, so many people on the internet will be calling that movie woke. Like, yeah, people will be calling it woke and everything. So, yeah, they did do a remake of Fame though back in 2009, which that was not so good. Anyway, and my number one favorite musical movie of the '80s is Little Shop of Horrors. Of course, starring the great Rick Moranis as Seymour, who discovers a strange This like plant he names Audrey the second, and some obviously you do got like Rick Moranis, Alan Green. I always love the dentist music moment with Steve Martin. Obviously, you got Somewhere That's Green. I mean, some really great music to bust out a tune here. Fun cast characters too, like you got the likes of Bill Murray popping up, Jim Belushi, John Candy, Steve Martin. Obviously, Ellen Green is great in this. You even got Tisha Campbell, obviously before My Wife and Kids at Modern fame. The one Tashina Arnold, who's also on The Neighborhood. She was also in this as well, like one of her earliest roles, really. I mean, Little Shop of Horrors is just one of the best. Like, who doesn't love that Audrey Plant character? Feed me. I mean, come on. Yeah, who did not want to go feed that plant, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just such a really good one. I mean, one of the best horror musical movies there is, and one of the best like remakes that is better than the original. Because I remember seeing the original Roger Corman one on TV, and I also saw this one as well. I'm sorry, this is definitely better than the Roger Corman one. All due respect to Roger Corman, this one is still the best in my opinion. A young Jack Nicholson was in the original, by the way. But anyway, I mean, yeah, and they've been talking about doing like there has been always talks about getting a remake off the ground. Whether you talk about like, I think Joe Scott Levitt was attached at one point. Trying to remember, I think Josh Gad was attached at one point. I mean, whether we get a remake, I think even Scarlett Johansson was once attached to play Audrey one time. Whether we get one, who knows? But the 1986 film will still. Boy, this movie turns 40 years old next year. Wrap your heads around that. I feel old, and I wasn't even born when that movie came out. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Grease. 9, Yentl. 8, The Blue Brothers. 7, Follow That Bird. 6, All Dogs Go to Heaven. 5, Annie. 4, Purple Rain. 3, The Little Mermaid. 2, Fame. And number 1 is Little Shop of Horrors. Now, there's also some other ones I could have included. I'm not including Footloose. I don't know why Footloose is always considered in the musical category. It does not even have any song. Like, obviously, there is the iconic Kenny Loggins song, but no one sings in it. People just dance. I do not consider Footloose or Dirty Dancing musicals. I'm sorry. None of them really sing. So, yeah. American Tail has some music, but Muppets Takes Manhattan has some music in it. A chorus line from 1985. That's a good one. Xanadu. I could have included Earth Girls Are Easy, but that only has like only 2 songs in it. Not anything to really go by there. I never considered John Waters' original Hairspray musical because it barely has like it doesn't even hardly have anyone singing in it. Unlike the John Travolta version. La Bamba I could have included, but I never really considered that a full-on musical. Like he busts out in music, but I don't know. It's more like a biopic more than a straight up musical. But anyway, let me let you guys. What are some of your favorite musical films of the 80s? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy